What's up, everybody? This is Stay Your Blade. Welcome on in. We're going to be doing a podcast today, Bladecast, of course, with Tom from Everything But the Camera. And bear with me, guys. This is new to me with the Google Hangout. So I'm going to be switching between cameras and trying to control it on my end as well. So, Tom, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. So my big thing is I wanted to ask you, first of all, how did you come up with your name? What was your whole big thing when you were trying to decide your name for Instagram and for everything else?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's several usernames that I own and I operate, but Everything But the Camera being my main one, the one that I'm known for. Like I put my face all over it.
Okay.
I started. It's kind of a long story, so I'll keep it short. But basically, I've been in video production for a long time. I ended up working at a corporate place called iCan. They sell video production equipment.
Okay.
And they own a camera store. And because I was sales manager there, I got to see how much money went in and out with camera sales. And it was then that I realized I will never sell cameras. I will sell everything. I will sell everything but cameras. So that's where the name came up. Pretty much Everything But the Camera was kind of my way of saying that one, I won't sell cameras, and two, I know that it started off with just money. I was like, okay, there's money in accessories, so let me play off of that, and that's why there's more rigs and things like that. And later on, that's where Camera Rigs with the Z came about. That's my account as well, and so is Camera Rigs 2, and so on. But everything started with Everything But the Camera, and then it just evolved to what it is today, with everything that I do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Was me saying I will never sell cameras. There's very small margins in it.
I like it. Yeah, my biggest thing is I've been looking out, for different products it's Black Friday it's Black Friday or whatever, and the biggest thing I've been looking for is a new lens and stuff like that, because I have a Sony A5000. It's a great camera, but it's one of those things that doing the lens is a big thing for me. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to buy the wrong one and then be just unhappy with it. So I've been looking at different brands, and Zeiss looks like a good one, but I'm not really sure on I'm not really familiar with brands on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay, so lens choice is very important. I've been very adamant, and I can tell you that I started real videography and stuff with the T3i.
Okay.
I did amateur stuff with the GL2 way back in the day, but that's for another time. But the T3i, if anyone is familiar with that, is the very basic Canon camera. I've done a lot of weddings, quinceañeras, events, music videos, and everything with that.
Okay.
I rented good lenses.
Yeah.
A good lens goes a long way. It really does. And I'm adamant at telling people it doesn't really matter what camera body you have. If you can interchange lenses, get some good lenses. If you can, if a lot of people, because I personally shoot Sony, a lot of people get adapters and then they use Canon L glass, which is really good. But if you can't afford it, there's Sigma making good lenses, things like that. I've been looking at all the Black Friday stuff, and a lot of the companies are doing $100, $200 off.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a lot of people, that's still not affordable.
Yeah.
So I always suggest going used. A lot of people cycle their gear out a lot, and I mean, I've picked up used stuff in the past a lot.
Cool. So my kind of next question about photography and videography with you is I wanted to know, with me, I kind of just started off with a cheap ass little flip camera, and that was kind of what got me into it. I really wanted to just take pictures. I took pictures and videos of everything when I first got my first flip camera. What got you into videography and photography? Were you at a young age? Were you a little bit older? What were you doing at the time that you were what, I kind of want to take photography seriously?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that one, because I like telling the story. Basically, I started off with skate videos.
Okay.
I a couple of friends of mine, and I mean, if people haven't seen me in person, I'm like 6'1", and I'm a
Yeah.
bigger guy, so
Yeah.
I was never good at doing tricks, so I
Yeah.
was always the cameraman.
Yeah.
And so I got really good at riding a skateboard while holding a camera, and that's where it all started, was me with a Sony like handheld camera recording my friends and then
Yeah.
editing sponsor me tapes
I
and
love it.
like helping them to send it out to like shorties and stuff. Like none of my friends were like good enough to become pros, but that was like the goal, was like, let's make a skate video, put all together the best tricks, and send it out.
Yeah.
In high school, I was in this it was a class called Media Tech,
Okay.
where they shot like the news, and they talked about like what's going on in the school, and that class was responsible for something they called the senior video. And so every year, at the end of the year, well, the seniors at the end of the year that were in that class would get together and shoot like not a montage, but sort of like a little video to kind of put together the year as a whole, but like in a short film narrative.
Okay.
Like, so it would like make fun of certain teachers and do things, and they would like show it at the prom. And like I shot the one for my senior class in high school.
That's cool.
But the teacher that was in that class, Mr. Anthony, he actually was the one that told me, like, hey kid, like at the time I was a really bad kid. I won't go into that, but I was dumb, and I didn't care about authority. I was a little 16-year-old, and he was telling me, like, you can make money off of this. You can shoot videos for a living. Like, I want you to know that what you're doing is great stuff.
Yeah.
You just have to like make it work for yourself. And from then on, like I had this ambition to just turn video production and filmmaking into a full-time job, because I mean, my mom is an electrician, my dad's a machinist, and they wanted me to go those trade routes.
Okay.
But I never wanted to do that. From an early age, I was like, no, I want to be creative. I want to create things and put them out into the world, because I mean, as I'm sure you do as well, like you like to put what you make out into the world.
Absolutely.
On whatever level it is.
Yeah.
It feels great to have reactions and things like that, and that's kind of it. It all started with skate videos and turned into what it is today.
Nice. Yeah. For me, it's like when I started off, it was more or less like just an outlet for me to kind of do something. Like, I had my camera, but I didn't do any like specific videos. I did a lot of I want to say I did a lot of Jackass videos. It was kind of, I was like, I grew up in that era, so
same here.
It was like a lot of jumping over stuff we weren't supposed to be doing. We were at the skate parks, but we were like jumping off the side of the buildings and stuff like that. And I mean, I did a little bit of the skateboarding, but it wasn't to that extent. I definitely couldn't hold a camera and do that. I probably would have fallen myself.
Oh no, I was scared every single time. I still am.
Well, see, now they have those gimbals that the Steadicam gimbals. You can just hold on to it, and it doesn't matter how much you shake or whatnot. It's like perfect.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, technology's definitely come a long way. You don't have to worry about holding the camera steady yourself. So what would you say your one piece of gear is that you don't leave home without? Not saying like your camera body or your lenses. Is there a specific type of equipment? Like I usually don't leave my house without having. I have a Joby Gorilla Pod.
The little bendy.
And the Casey Neistat special. I don't leave the house without that. What is something that you don't ever leave without having?
I mean, besides like memory cards and spare batteries, because people forget those. I don't know, because I've always been like a run and gun type, and I've learned over the years to just have more of like a steady handheld shot than anything. But now, like you said a second ago, like the advancements in technology, all that. Yeah. Like gimbals, like I have a gimbal on me at all times. Yeah. Like I got. Currently, it's like the A2000, but that can change in like a month or two because technology is always changing. And like this question probably will only be relevant for the next 6 months, which is crazy for like people in our field. Yeah, like it advances that fast. So right now it's a gimbal, a handheld gimbal.
Yeah.
I don't really like the dual handles,
Yeah.
just because it takes up more space.
Yeah.
And I've got it down to a T where like my camera bag is on the bottom is my camera, my main lens, my second lens, and then there's this big zipper, and there's like my batteries and my SD cards and stuff, and then there's like a slot where a laptop goes. But whenever I'm shooting, I don't take my laptop. So I slide the gimbal in there, and it fits perfectly.
Nice.
So yeah, that gimbal fits perfect. I have everything on the backpack, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I've been almost perfecting my like setup with my book bag, because I don't have like an actual camera book bag. I have I just have like a regular book bag that I throw everything in, and it's kind of like yours where it has like all of the different slots and whatnot. But it doesn't have a specific place to hold the camera or anything. So I try to make sure the camera's kind of on top of everything, because I'm afraid that if I put it underneath, it's just gonna smash it. But the best thing I had to say that I generally bring along, except for the what was it, the
Gorilla Pod.
Yeah, the Gorilla Pod is I like bringing along I have a bunch of filters that I use that I swap out on regular, and I'm starting to get used to like using them. I've never on old cameras. I'm probably 5 cameras deep at this point. And I've destroyed every single camera. I've had cameras for maybe 3 months and then destroyed them on accident. Sat on them. I'm really bad with technology. I'm good like fixing stuff, but I will smash something pretty easy. That's why like this camera I got, I'm like, I bought it and then I said, okay, I gotta be really careful with it. And then I watch people like there's a YouTuber named Sean Duras who literally will just take his camera and throw it like through the air, and then his buddies will catch it, and I'm like, I couldn't do that. I'd be freaking out.
I definitely feel you.
So like, well, and but people, every photographer and every videographer I've ever like come across on YouTube or in person, they've all said the same thing. Don't let the camera be in the way of doing the shot. So if the camera is like, if you're afraid that you're gonna break it, take your phone and just shoot the shot. You might as well,
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's very big. Like telling the story is more important than anything. Like like throwing your camera, if that's the story that you want to tell, like in a shot, if you want that to happen. I mean, because obviously there's a lot of clickbait involved with that, and I'm pretty sure that person has used it as that. Yeah. But still, like doing things like that, like not being afraid to get the shot no matter what is pretty big too.
What would you say, out of everything that you've done, what's the most eye-opening experience that you've had when it comes to photography, being in the field or being at home? What's been the most eye-opening thing that you've come across in your experiences
through all this? Man, definitely. And this is, a lot of people don't really correlate it, like photography and all these things, with social media, but that social media has taken me the furthest I've ever been. Like, I'm here today because of social media. Like building everything with the camera rigs too, and then helping other companies start their Instagram accounts and like all their social media. That has gotten me further and gotten me more gigs and gotten me to work with so many more companies than I would have ever imagined. Like being into skateboarding, and this is just one example. Being into skateboarding, I was really into tech decks as a kid. I still kind of am. And, I reached out to Tech Deck and said I wanted to do something with them. And they absolutely agreed. They sent me out some stuff. I'm going to have a video coming out with them. But like, that's like my childhood, like coming into one because of social media. That's awesome. Like, it's less about like filmmaking and photography than it is about like social media and getting your stuff out there. Because I mean, ultimately, and this is the way I feel, is like, if you're creating, you're wanting to create for other people to see. And so social media is that platform. No matter what user, like no matter Instagram, Facebook, whatever, no matter what the platform is, you want to share it. And so like that's why I'm like writing a book right now about social media and how to grow your social media and keep that going.
I like it.
To essentially like put that out there to one, get known for what you do, whatever your niche is, whatever you want, because ultimately like that's what gets eyeballs on your stuff, and that's what you want. If you're creative, you want eyeballs on your stuff. Like you want to talk to people that are creatives as well, and I want to talk to you too. Like, this is great. I'm glad you asked me to do this because I want to say these things, you know, and now we can share platforms. I can talk to the people, you know, and your people can talk to me, and we can like collaborate together further and further. And social media has helped that.
Yeah, like my biggest thing is like I was really when I first started working on because I started off with Twitch, which is just game streaming and whatnot, and I was extremely afraid to go into the social media aspect, which it was hard for me to like jump into it. Once I started doing like Twitter and Instagram, it started to like click with me that people can watch you, but like if they don't know you're there, they're not gonna come. So like I would try to put a little bit of effort, and then I kind of stopped doing it, which I think that's what hurt me a little bit was the fact that I stopped doing it. And now I'm realizing like there's one guy I watch on YouTube is Gary Vaynerchuk, he's entrepreneur and all that stuff, and he basically said like every day put something out there, because if you keep putting stuff out there, people are going to notice you. If you don't put it out, who the hell's going to notice you?
Yeah, nobody's going to see you. Yeah, I actually I went to Photo Plus in New York recently, and I saw him and Chase Jarvis speak, and I had a chance to speak with Chase Jarvis. Great guy, like dude was like, I had my camera out and everything, and honestly, I really only heard of him because of a photographer friend of mine, Vaughn Wong. He does something with Creative Live, like he does a course or whatever. So Chase Jarvis started Creative Live. Okay. And the things that Gary Vee and him were talking about it was insane, man. Like I was sitting there, some of the stuff, like every time because I've been in this a while, like doing social media stuff for a while. Every time I listen to, say like Gary Vee or Chase Jarvis talk about, what needs to be done. That's the thing that's been repeated over and over and over is consistency. Yeah. Doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and not stopping. And like what you were saying earlier, like you saw things go down once you quit paying so much attention to it, or once you quit like doing these things, and like that's what kills people. Like there's people's accounts that, and I know several people that they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get offline for a little while. Like, no, that's stupid. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Yeah. Because then your retention is gonna go down, and your impressions are gonna go down. Yeah. And when you come back, it's gonna be hard to fight to go back up, because I've done that before. And I know what it takes, because I've done it with probably 10 accounts now. Yeah. I've had to like keep building and building and building. And, whenever, basically Chase Jarvis and Gary Vee were telling the audience, one of the things that they said that like kind of like had me like, whoa, was knowing your value. And whenever it comes to all this, I know it kind of goes off topic, but it's one of those things. Whenever you brought up Gary Vee, I was like, absolutely. Yeah. Fucking love that guy. But knowing your value. And then they were saying like, one guy asked a photographer randomly from the crowd, he's just like, how much should I charge? And he's like, how much do you charge now? Like, what is that based off of? And then he told him, and then he's like, okay, charge 10 times more than that. And he's like, no matter what number you would have told me, I would have said charge 10 times more than that. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, what? Like, dude, like that was, to me, I'm like, no, but apparently like there's a certain level, of thinking that those guys have. And, people get to a certain point where charging 10 times as much isn't even enough, so like, not because you're greedy or not because anything, but because the work that you do should be valued at that much, like no matter what. That went way off topic. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No, like I my biggest thing is like when I do, because I also like I do a lot of creative work where I make overlays, and I make like people's Twitch logos and stuff like that, and I try to like work at it myself, but I don't charge people. And the reason why I don't charge people is because when I started off, I wish people would have helped me out, and I feel that just helping someone, in my opinion, is the biggest thing I can do. Is I can just get my name out there by saying, hey, I can get you, this, that, and the other. If you can throw $10 at me, cool. If you don't have the money for it, I didn't have the money for it. I never had the money for it when I first started. So like it's my biggest, like my motto kind of is if you can make someone smile in a day, like that makes your whole day.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
don't,
good. I like that. I
you
like
know,
that.
and like I could have a shitty day if I can make someone smile. Like I've won. I can high five myself and call it a day.
Yeah.
So like that's my my biggest thing is like, and that was my, I think that was my biggest obstacle in life, was just trying to make sure that I was happy with what I was doing,
Yeah.
because I have a 4-year degree right now, and like it's cool to have a degree, but it's
That
if I'm
doesn't
not happy
mean.
with it, if I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything with it, it's I'm not gonna sit at a desk and type away at something if I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
But like the
That's a,
photo, you go ahead.
I was gonna say that's a big reason why I got out of the corporate space
Yeah.
of selling gear like I was, because it was I was miserable, man. Like I have a bachelor's, but I honestly, like, the things that I learned in college I could have just learned on YouTube, and I'm very adamant
Yeah.
about like I'm anti-college if you're in the creative space. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, all those, of course, go to college. I don't want some doctor that learned off YouTube to like work on me.
Yeah.
But if you're in the creative space like you and I are, you definitely have to just learn from yourself and learn from your experience. Experience is like the best possible thing, and you don't get that with college. You get theory with
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I started off with I started off working in theater, and my whole thing was that I worked sound design, so my whole thing was if
that's
I
awesome.
couldn't put together a speaker, what good am I? So I would sit there for hours and just do it, and eventually I got it correct, and I would get it perfect, and it just took those hours of me grinding at it to
Yeah,
finally go, shit, I got it correct, and like now I'm good.
yeah,
But like my biggest thing was, that was, like I said, that was my biggest obstacle, was trying to make myself better as a person by just being happy with it. Like I was happy doing theater stuff, and then I graduated, and I'm like, what do I do now?
yeah. Well, you were adding to your tool bag. Like everybody has a tool kit, a bag. In a sense, in this conversation, let's call it a camera bag. But
Yeah,
everybody has a camera bag, and they're building on it like every single day, no matter what you do. So like helping out people on Twitch, and that's very niche. You helping out people on Twitch is like you're building something, like you're adding to your bag, and
yeah,
eventually one of those people might be like, oh yeah, so and so hook me up with this, and then all of a sudden you can start charging more and more and more, and it builds from there.
yeah,
But I mean, ultimately, I know that's not what you want to do, is like create designs. You want to get your name out there, you want to get your face out there.
yeah,
But in from what I'm, and this is, by the way, this is the first time we've ever met.
yeah,
but I could just tell like that you're trying to build that, and you're doing all of the right things. Like you
yeah,
definitely are. I mean, I definitely, after this, we need to like sit and talk, and I'll help you strategize like your social media
yeah, for sure.
to kind of, for like maximum output, man.
Yeah,
Because there's a few key things that everybody knows,
yeah,
but they just didn't put enough emphasis on it, and then that's where things start building up and building up and building up.
absolutely. Yeah, my I would say the the social media aspect. I'm kind of learning from people how to do it. Like I go onto like like I said, Gary V's whole thing is
Yeah.
I don't I'm not good at just going off the rip and just doing whatever. I will learn from people's experiences. So if it
Yeah.
works really well for someone, I don't copy it, but what I do is I try to like mimic the actions that they do, how much they
Of
put
course.
out, what they put
Yeah.
out. Like I started doing, instead of just putting face my face on every single post and every single post and every single post, because it's not
Yeah.
all about me. I'm starting to do like motivational stuff.
Mhm.
I'm putting motivational quotes out there and putting, because for me, over this last year, I work out. I'm trying to work out as much as possible, and not everyone does that. So like for me, that's my motive. That's something that I want to motivate other people to do. I'm a big dude. Like I'm a 300-pound dude, and
Yeah.
when I start to like work out and get positive about myself, that's when I want other people to be positive as well. So I'm trying to push it out onto like Instagram and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because then people can see that and go, "Damn, I should go do something." You know, even if it's
Yeah,
not
no,
working out. You
you
know,
want to inspire other people to feel that inspiration inside of you. Trust me,
right,
I feel exactly the same way.
right,
And it's a unique thing, and not everyone has it. I've realized that over the years is like the things that I know in my head and I think are common sense, or the way that I feel and that I think is a common feeling, during certain times of my life. Not a lot of people feel that way, and you've seen on like my Instagram account where sometimes
yeah,
I'll post some stuff. I usually keep it to the stories,
yeah,
because like I feel like the people in my Instagram stories are the ones that really care.
yeah, yeah,
So I'll say some motivational stuff like, dude, like keep going, whatever. And every time I do that, dude, I get so many DMs of people from around the world just saying like, thank you so much for saying that. Like one time I put like, get up and create.
yeah.
And then the next one was like, seriously, get off. And I cussed. I don't know, should I cuss? Is
No,
it okay to
I don't
cuss?
care.
All right, I said, get the fuck out of bed
Yeah,
and create something. Grab your camera, and then the next slide, get out and shoot. And
yeah,
like, so many people were like, yeah, man, I'm getting off right now. Like they messaged me, and they're like, I'm getting off right now to actually get out and create. My camera's been sitting, and I've been, making excuses, because ultimately it's excuses.
yeah,
And whether you see it that way or not, but like it's all excuses to not do something.
yeah,
I mean, it's all about just doing it, and then that's it. Like it's all about getting up and getting out and working out. And I mean,
yeah.
I need to work out too. Like I'm a big guy as well, but I make excuses for myself. I make excuses for all these things, and like it happens to me too. Like
Yeah.
it happens to everybody, but it's just a matter of like prioritizing what you want to do, where you want to be,
Yeah,
and what's
absolutely.
important. And sometimes that you'll have to neglect friends and family and loved ones to get where you want to be. But when you're there, then you have a different perspective.
Yeah.
But like motivational stuff, man, I love that shit. I really do. I love it.
The one thing that I noticed, and this is just off my own personal experiences. In October, I went to California for the first time. Never been there.
Yeah.
Never flown on a plane. All that stuff.
Really?
So I spent the entire week at TwitchCon for gaming and all that, and every day I felt more and more inspiration to do shit. I vlogged every single day. I worked on putting my name out there and all that stuff. And it was like I came back and I had this almost this aura about me saying like, okay, I can just do it. Fuck everyone else. I'm gonna just do it.
You were riding a high, man. You were riding a high.
And it's crazy. I've been riding this high for a while. Is there any time where you had to do that, where you went out, you left from where you're at now, and like gone to, I don't know, anywhere else, and it just like it clicked, and you're like, shit, I should be doing this now instead. Like, do you ever had that experience?
So the social media stuff, it started whenever I realized that I was making a certain company so much more money than I was making myself, and I saw like the numbers, and I was like, holy shit, if I'm doing this for them and they're paying me this, why can't I do it myself? Right. And then that's where it all began. But pretty much like every single time I go to like trade shows and things like that, which I go to a lot. I'm in Vegas a couple weeks out of the year.
Okay.
I'm in LA for Cinegear. I've been to VidCon once, and that was overwhelming, man. There's way too many kids. Like if you're in the YouTube space, definitely go once or twice. But I've seen a lot of YouTubers that don't want to go to that. Just because it is screaming children. It really is screaming kids. But I mean, they're there to see their favorite YouTubers. Don't get me wrong, but still, it's very intense. But like Photo Plus, I went to Photo Plus, and I got a chance to speak to some brands and talk to them about doing some potential deals and things like that. And that, because like ultimately that's what pays the bills. So like, but I really enjoy it, and that's like the main thing. And every single time I go to these things, I'm re-inspired to continue to keep doing it. And whenever people reach out and tell me like, Tom, thanks so much for just being cool or being great this, great that. Like there's a lot of foreigners who ask me for free cameras. Ultimately, like I don't even get free cameras, and if I did, then I would totally like do giveaways all the time for cameras. But I'm not at that level yet. Uh, but it's those little things like that that keep me inspired, that keep
Yeah.
me, going. I'm not doing it for that.
No.
Ultimately, I'm doing it to sort of, document my career in a sense, but also, help educate.
Yeah.
Because it all kind of ties back to like, I'm in a lot of college debt. Like I'm in
Yeah.
a lot of
No, I
debt
feel you.
because of college. And so I want to help educate. I want to be part of the what's the word for it? But I want to be part of the solution
Yeah.
to continue to help people in the creative space learn and do things outside of a page structure. I
Yeah.
mean, ultimately, it all boils down to like having to pay the bills. I can't live where I'm living if I didn't, make any money from it.
Right.
And then that's kind of the line where, we need to end up eventually making money off of something that we're doing.
Right.
And so that's where, merch comes in and brand deals and all these things. And so I'm always finding different ways
Yeah.
to continue to do what I'm doing. And that's just part of like a thought process that I'm constantly thinking of opportunities. Like whenever you reached out to me and you were like, hey, would you like to do an interview? I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I hardly say no to anything now because I always see opportunity in it. Like, who knows, somebody might see this and, be inspired by it, reach out and be like,
Right.
hey, I have this multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
I'd like this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everything's an opportunity.
It's always for me. It's always like that's why I do a lot of this stuff for free right now.
Yeah.
It's because my return on interest for me is just getting my name out there. If I can get my name out there and someone shouts me out and says, "Hey, so and so did this," for me, check them out, blah blah blah. That's why I do a lot of my stuff like that, because then it's the same thing with just
that should definitely be a part of the agreement though. Like right off the bat, just be like, hey, I'll do this if you shout me out, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, give a little give and take.
Oh yeah. Usually what I do is I work all on live stream for Twitch, so I'll do it all on live, and I'll just tell them, hey, come hang out, just come chat, bullshit with us, bring your crew along and see what happens. Let's make magic, My biggest thing is like, if I can work with people that I'm like, if I start to become friends with, then it's not about the money. It's not about like the fame for me. It's just about making friends and trying to keep myself motivated to keep doing it. Because if I have people around me who are positive and who really want to do this, then it's going to keep me positive and wanting to do this.
That's one of the points that I kind of forgot to make because I kind of get off on tangents a lot. But surrounding yourself with people that want the same things as you. It may not be in the same platform or the same like level or whatever, but surrounding yourself with people like that, man, that keeps that keeps you riding that high that you said you had. Because there was one time I went to New York. One of the things that I do with this company that I work with is I train B&H employees on new gear.
Okay.
So I went to New York and I was really into like I had to do product video after product video after product video because I was getting free gear and I was getting paid and this and that.
Yeah.
And whenever I was out in New York, man, New York is a different it's a different town. Like I'm from Houston where it's like it's pretty chill. People do business like pretty chill. California, way too chill. Like they're like, I'll get back to you in a week. Like, nah. In New York, they're like bam, 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 and you can feel that energy over there.
Oh yeah.
So whenever I was like talking to people about what I was doing, it just kept me motivated. Like I would literally like do the classes that I needed to teach, and then I would get out and go film something. And at the time, my wife was traveling with me. And so she was just like, hey, when can we do this? I'm like, no, I need to do this. I have this shot in my mind. I need to go to Central Park like right now. Like I was just on such a high.
Yeah.
And I pumped out a video every day I was out there. And I was just like, afterwards, I'm like, yes. Eventually, that kind of like died down. And then I have to find out again, like how to do it. There's not too many people that live in Houston that do what I'm doing. I have a friend of mine, Aiden, who does like videos on Facebook and stuff, and he's starting to blow up now. But me and him like kind of started together in this space. He does something different. I do my film and video stuff, but he does pranks and stuff like that. And so he's he's blown up and then kind of came back down and blown up again, and now he's on that big blow up where like big companies are like reaching out to him and all this and that, and it's amazing. But like when we get together, we have conversations like this, and surrounding yourself with that keeps you motivated. It keeps you keeps you going.
Yeah.
And because ultimately, like motivation, like it's hard to find a person that is just self-motivated all day, every day, and has never been in their head and has never told themselves they can't do something. So sometimes having someone around to say that is like, okay, and you keep going, you know?
For sure.
That's key though, like finding people that have the same interests and the same goals as you, not necessarily the same goals, but some of the same goals to where you can ride it together and just keep going up and up and up.
I wanted this might be a little sidestep. So we talk about motivation and stuff like that. I want to ask you real quick, what is the number one song? Like if you had to play a song all day so that you can just stay motivated the whole day, what is that one song that you're like, I gotta play this song?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm really big into music. I like all sorts of music. I have playlists for everything. I pay for Spotify because that's how much I love.
That's the same with me.
I have classical playlists. I have rap, rock. I have one called emo shit because I used to. I have like one called country shit. It's only like 5 songs. I don't really listen to country a lot, but when I'm in that mood, like my moods are based off of music. But man, one song. I don't know. I don't like. I guess if I'll just put a mood to a song. If I'm in like an editing mood, I'll play some. And by the way, I've never really played the games, but on Spotify there's something. I can't remember the guy's name, but I have a whole playlist of his music. It's all the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack on piano.
Okay.
And I let that play in the background. It's really like calming, and I can kind of like get real focused. If I'm like shooting products, I'll listen to maybe like Holy Diver.
Yeah.
By the Killswitch Engage version.
Okay.
So it's like to me it sounds a little bit better. But Ronnie James Dio did a great job with Holy Diver.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I'm super into music. I grew up like playing in bands and stuff, and so like I've always dreaded people asking me questions like that. Like, what's the song? Because there's never one song with me. Like, you can ask my wife. Like, she loves Pandora. I love Spotify because I know what I want to listen to at any given moment of the day. And she's like, I don't care what I listen to, and I'm just like, nope. Like right now, I could just pull it out and just like I have so many playlists with so many songs in it, and that kind of question is really hard to answer.
My whole thing is if I can just narrow it down to one song, it's a song that I just started listening to. It's called Legendary. I gotta look up who it's by. It's but it was something I had posted on Instagram a couple days ago, and that song it's insane how good it is to, like, in my head at least. It's by Welshly Arms. So basically, I
have to save it real quick.
Yeah, it's like the 3 songs that I put up on my Instagram. It was how many days ago was that? 3 days ago. I put up the 3 songs that I've been listening to like on repeat. And one's Born Hustler by Roland, and then one's Lights Go Down by Benzaji. I think that's how you say it. But those 3, they've been seriously like motivational. Like I working out, put the song on, and just jam out to it.
Oh no, I even have a workout playlist. Like, I listen to it sometimes when I'm just trying to get crunk too. Like it's music plays a big role in a lot of people's lives, and so that's why I was saying it's super hard to answer that question.
With me, like when I do I do my editing and I put music behind stuff, I have to be really careful because like I put music behind it every time, and with me, in particular to what I like to listen to, but not everyone likes the same stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to be careful. Like I've actually been taking a lot of tips from like Linus Tech Tips and like the other tech channels that are out there. Like I try to like listen to what they have in their background, and then I just kind of copy that kind of music so that it's not too, it's not too crazy, and I try to keep it as low as possible because I'm afraid that people are gonna be like, this is shitty music, why is this even back here, like.
No, like there comes a certain point where like you shouldn't care. You care less about stuff like that and go more from the gut when it comes to that, and more about putting the content out there. Like, but I get what you're saying. Like every time, like the last little like product review video I did, I was on YouTube for like, because I searched like the royalty free songs and stuff like that, and I always like put shout them out, whatever. But I spent probably like 15-20 minutes, and then I snapped, and I'm like, why am I taking so long? And I picked like the next one, and ultimately it sounded good. But like I liked it, but I mean, there comes a certain point where it's like I shouldn't stop myself from putting this out because of this, like something like that. And I mean, but yeah, I get exactly how you feel though, because like I'm so into music, I'm like I like this. Would someone else like this? And I get in my head about it. Like I'm like, no, stop. Put it out.
I want to ask you the one thing I want to ask is like kind of, this might be a long one for you, but the one piece of advice you can give someone that's new in your field that just they're stepping in, they have a camera and they kind of just like, I want to do this, what do I do? Like, is there one piece of advice or a couple of pieces of advice you can give someone coming into the field new?
So it really just depends on where they want to be. And I always tell people that, like, where do you want to be? Because I want to know where they want to be first. Then I can kind of like point them in the right direction.
Okay.
And in no way, my opinion, because it is an opinion after all, my opinion isn't 100% gold. It's not going to be the end all be all of inspirational quotes to put on a poster or something. But like depending on where they want to be, say if they want to become a director or cinematographer, a great cinematographer. If they want to go the 100% artist creative route, or do they want to build something that's gonna last, that's not gonna necessarily put them in as a director or whatever? Because let's face it, I'm not directing every day. I mean, technically I am, but I'm not a big director in Hollywood like I wanted to be whenever I was growing up. I'm not that, but I'm in my own right, become what I've wanted to be. And if someone wants to follow the route of becoming a director or whatever, just get out there, do it. And if they need to learn one thing, that's exposure. Learn exposure like it's your life depends on it, let's say. Because exposure is key. Like it's learning how to, there's so much that falls into that, but like learning how to light, learning your camera settings, no matter what camera that is. All of these things, like just learning exposure and how to light things, how to tell a story with lighting, because that's what a cinematographer does. They help to tell, emphasize what the director wants with lighting, like what they want the emotion to be. Because let's face it, if everything was lit like you and me are lit right now, it would be boring. Everything would look like soap operas on TV, and like nobody wants that.
No.
So if somebody wants to become like I said, a cinematographer, director, things like that, just get out there and start doing it. And if you specifically want to be a cinematographer, learn exposure, learn lighting. Like that's key, because the camera is secondary. But if you want to be a director, learn how to tell a story. If you want to do what I do, spend a lot of years like learning and appreciating the craft of all of it, and being able to to put yourself out there, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That's the biggest thing, is not being afraid to. I mean, I had insecurities whenever I was growing up, but then at a certain point, I was like, why should I care what other people think? And it's gotten more like the no fucks given sort of attitude, and that's where whenever I really stopped caring, it's things started growing more and more, and then just having my own opinion, not being afraid to voice my opinion.
Absolutely,
kind of helps.
I like it. Yeah, I like that. I would have to say that's probably when I started off, I was kind of in that place where I was trying to appease everyone. I was trying to make it about everyone else. And then when I took a step back, and I
Yeah.
was just like, you know what, I kind of like doing this way instead. And after a while, you know, you know, I, actually probably the biggest thing for me was going back and looking at old YouTube videos I made on another account,
Mhm.
and I went through that account and I said, I didn't care what the hell anyone else thought. I just put a video out. Like there was literally a video that I made was called "Why is there a problem with being fat?" And I went on a 45-minute tangent about why I don't care if people think I'm fat. And I
Yeah.
was just, and it was like, and then I watched that whole thing and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
no, no, people get in their head, man. People get in their head, and that's the worst. That's the worst thing that you could do is one, get in your head, and two, let people get in your head. Like
Yeah.
that. That's the worst. But ultimately, the worst of those two is you getting in your own head
Mm.
and questioning your own stuff. And that's why I was saying, like, stop, like, in specifically that one instance, stop worrying about, the what music is playing behind your video, because ultimately that's just a one little piece of the whole thing. Ultimately, people are there to watch, what you're saying and things like that. I'm pretty sure they're not going to really care.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it sounds like you're in your head.
Yeah.
Just put it out. Just put it out.
Yeah. So okay, I think the last thing I want to ask is for you to give me one thing that you want to know about the people who are watching this. Like, if you could ask everyone that you ever knew through social media one
Uh,
question, what's the one question you could ask every single person out there?
what do you want to see more of?
Okay, I like
Because
it.
I mean, I don't want to say please, but for lack of a better word, I'm trying to please the audience. The audience, I've been known for something. Now
Yeah,
it's time to, like, ask them, and then, if I can do it, I'll do it.
yeah,
If I can't, I'll figure out how to do it.
yeah,
I mean, because ultimately, the thing that keeps you and I going is the audience. The thing that keeps, us being fed, whether you're getting paid for this or not. Like that's how you can continue to grow it, and asking the audience what they want, and then sometimes, or actually a lot of times, I just kind of do things and
mm-hmm.
then play off of that. Like
Okay,
if I see that somebody likes, like, a friend of mine, Simon, SDP Photographics on Instagram,
mm-hmm.
he blew his camera up,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was like the most views I've ever seen on any of my Instagram posts at all. Like, it blew up, and a bunch of people started reposting it, and, like, I told him, I was like, dude, we need to do more of this. Like the other day, I have a broken 5D Mark II that's, like, broken, like, there's no fixing it
Yeah,
whatsoever, and I like threw it at my friend, and, like, people just love to see that
yeah,
that, like, just total destruction. Like, as much as they hate to see it, it's like a
mm-hmm.
car wreck. Like, you want to look, but you shouldn't. So
Yeah,
it's like I've found that people love that. So, like, I'll continue to do that whenever I can. I'm not going to ruin completely good gear, though.
no, no.
I had so many people, like, just talk shit. Like, why would you break that camera? You're so, entitled. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, I've worked so hard for what I have.
Yeah,
And, like, I'm not going to just throw something unless, like, let's say, hey, Samsung or somebody sends me a camera to deliberately do that. Then, of
yeah,
course, I'll do it.
absolutely. I will throw it all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. When you sent me or when you sent out the video of the gimbal spinning out of control, I'm like, oh, I'm like, just
Yeah.
send that to me. I'll use that gimbal just to mess around with it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
I fixed it, by the way.
you
I
did
fixed
you?
that one.
Very
Yeah, yeah.
nice, very
That's
nice.
what happens whenever people mess with the software and they don't know what they're doing. And it's really software fix. It's not anything hardware. So it's
Mm.
like I go in and I play with it, and I figure out what's wrong, and I change up the settings. But yeah, that one was absolutely 100% working right after that. Shout out to GVB Gear. They got me, like, doing some certified refurbished stuff for them.
I love it.
And so they're selling all those gimbals that I'm fixing. They're selling them on Amazon now.
Nice.
I mean, it's pulling in some decent numbers, and giving out, pretty good discounts on pretty much brand new equipment.
That's sweet. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so I want to. I'm probably gonna finish up our talk here, and then we could talk afterwards.
yeah,
But I want you to shout out as many things as you can about like your social medias and whatnot, and
Yeah, for sure.
so we can get you followed and people following you. Because honestly, that was the reason when I started following you is because of the camera gear, and then you started posting stuff on your stories, and I'm like, damn, this dude's cool. And then I was like, I kind of like, I almost saw myself in the same line as you, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude's kind of like me, but in a different place. He's like a farther along version of me right now, and I'm
But
like, damn,
I don't have a beard, man. I wish I can grow a beard.
this beard, I'm growing out to be Viking level by the end of next year. It's gonna be a Viking beard. I'm gonna braid it. I'm gonna have one good
Nice.
braid in it. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, give me you shout out as many things as you want. Any of your social medias, and I'll get them. I'll pop them up on the screen at the very end.
All right. I mean, if you're not already following me, check out, Everything But the Camera, of course. Pretty long, but it's become a sort of a staple. At least I like to think it's a staple. Camera Rigs with a Z, Camera Rigs 2. Follow those accounts. That's where you'll see a lot of my face. You'll see, deals and all these things that I promote. I promote a lot of different stuff. And definitely follow, Stay Your Blade on Instagram. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I guess the last thing is, if you have any questions, anybody that's watching this, don't be afraid to ask us, either of us.
Yeah.
We're sure we're both available on DMs and email, whatever, Google Hangout, and then lastly, stay tuned for the book that I'm writing, because I really want to put a lot of information that hasn't necessarily been said, because I feel like people are a little bit afraid to it's not a secret. None of what I do is a secret. It's just putting it in let's call it the growing your social media for dummies. I won't call it that because that's not what it is, but I'm going to put it in the most easiest way to understand for people, because I've broken it down into that. And so that's what it's going to be, is growing your social media. And then, there's going to be a second book about how to capitalize on that and turn it into brand deals and revenue and things like that. But yeah, cool. That's pretty much it. That's all the shout outs I have. Also, last one, check out GVB Gear. I do a lot of work with them. They get me a lot of gear. They've gotten you a light. Like, we're gonna get you set up. You already have that.
Yeah.
And I definitely need to get you set up with the real camera bag. I'll have one sent out to you, dude. Don't worry.
Sweet.
Sweet. I'll get you set up with a real camera bag.
Sweet. I want to say thank you so much, seriously, for coming by. I'll probably, whenever you decide to get your book in line and everything is all squared away with at least the first one, you let me know, and then we'll kind of like revisit everything. Because by then it'll be about the book. It won't be just about the background. Now we got the life of Tom. I want to get the background of the book as well. At some point, that would be awesome. So. So I'm gonna stop recording for this, and guys, if you enjoyed this, below, hit up the comments, do that thing, hit the like buttons, visit Tom on his social media, please. I'm gonna post those below. Check those out, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace out, blades up, and have a great day.